It's time for Myth of the Week.
All right, thanks for joining the Myth of the Week every week, and everyone on the job site did a really good job this week. I always quiz everybody, and the majority of everyone got this right. Anti-short bushings, it's like true or false. Anti-short bushings are required by the manufacturer if used on type MC cable, so to be used. But so this is kind of a trick one. And oh wow, we got Mr. Russ Odin in the house. Awesome, thanks, Mr. Code. Awesome, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So what we have going is with this one is kind of an interesting one because it's not really clear. There's certain types of connectors, like for example on the MC90 connectors. I still use them. I think they are probably a good, safety blanket for certain different connections. Sometimes we have the clamp style MC connectors that can be possibly like Daniel probably puts them in his impact and then just runs them to China. You got to make sure that you got to be protecting them. But in general, if you're installing these correctly and you're using the approved MC fittings, then anti-short bushings are not required. And then the reason that I got a lot of people on this one is a lot of people see required and recommended, and they see the same thing, and that's not true. So one thing you'll run into, I stole this from David Englehart, really appreciate it. He says, and verified by NEMA bulletin number 90, which is in your screen right now. And so this bulletin basically came out 2002, and they made the determination that if these MC connectors are self-centering, then they're going to keep that conductor far enough away from that rigid metal jacket that you're not going to have a problem with shorting or any kind of issues. And a lot of people said, oh, well, what if your apprentice does it and it shorts out a bunch of stuff? Well, you need to be teaching your apprentice better, for one. And for two, that's not being installed correctly if you have a shorting out, just because of the connector. So that's improper installation. I had a lot of requests for people to do how MC cable is cut next week. So we'll probably go through that. But this week is just the actual bushing itself, if it's required to be used. I have had inspectors tell me, I don't care what any code says, you got to use them. And I really didn't fight back on them too much. I just said, okay, we're using them and we're using the right connectors and we're doing it right and everything. But I haven't really gotten any piston match over this. I just try to, kind of keep it cool, because a lot of old school inspectors say that they check for them. And, like I say, I don't see a way that an inspector can enforce something that's not in the NEC. So this week, myth is busted. You are not required by the manufacturer to use these. It is recommended by the manufacturer, and you can see a lot of this stuff that James is pulling up is these report on proposals. And I believe a lot of this, I could be wrong, James, but I believe a lot of this was public inputs for the 2002 NEC. And I think a lot of these public inputs to make them a mandatory code requirement were rejected, and they basically made it, it's a mandatory use. A lot of guys say it's just smarter to just use them. Well, that's cool, then use them. There's nothing wrong with it. People say, well, they come with the cable, so that means that you're intended to use it. Well, a lot of manufacturers now are not even sending them with MC cable because they know it's not required. So, like I say, if you don't get them, it's probably because the manufacturer's not sending it anymore.
Sure.
But I know you could probably go a little bit deeper on this, James. I wasn't really heavy into the code in 2002. I know I just got my license. So I remember I don't remember a whole lot of code battles that I got into when I first got my journeyman's license.
Yeah, when you look at this, basically, matter of fact, I have to go back and look. I'm not even sure that 330.40 is even there anymore. I know 320.40 is still there for AC cable. But I don't think
Yep.
330.40 is there anymore because
No, it's not.
I didn't think so. And you've got type AC cable now, and you take and look at this, it literally comes in and so, and if you would go back and, because I think 2002 it did have 330.40 in there, and
Okay.
but it never said anything about the anti-short bushings in there that you need to use them. But it did say that you need them right here when you're using type AC cable. And like you
I
were
almost
saying,
guarantee David Englehart's probably going in link right now to try to see what cycle it got removed. But yeah, there's a chance that it was still in 2002 and then it got removed in '05.
I was thinking it was 08, but I'm not 100% sure. I just
Yeah.
remember it not being there. But when you go in and you actually look at it, it's recommended by the manufacturer for MC cable. But when you go and you look at the code for AC cable, it literally is required, and that